Hey everybody, time again to look at some more metal CDs I've been checking out. And we're going to start off with a brand new one from November 2024, that being Faded Dream, the debut full-length album by Neon Nightmare, released on 20 bucks spin. So if you don't know the deal with Neon Nightmare, it is a Typo Negative influenced side project of Nate from Spirit Adrift. It is a short intro and 6 songs. And compared to the Spotify version, this one has a secret song, so definitely try to check that out if you can. And I was excited about this project right away. First of all, not too many bands sound like Typo Negative. I recently came across that band, October Noir. They're pretty cool, but I definitely prefer something heavier like Neon Nightmare. So the first single was released in, I think, early September. That one officially got me in the Halloween mood. I was just playing some Switch with my son, just kind of listening to some new music. And when I heard that, I was cranking that. And I have to say, that is still the best song on the album, Lost Silver. What kind of impressed me about the project is that um, it sounds so much like Typo Negative, but I have a hard time like saying like which album would I put this on. Again, the aforementioned Lost Silver, maybe October Rust meets World Coming Down. The second single, She's Drowning, kind of brought me to Dead Again. I think my second favorite song on here is probably the closer, Promethean Gift. They got it all. I'd say at first I thought the vocals were like 95% Pete Steele. Upon closer listening, I'm going to say more like 80%. But maybe a little less keyboards than Typo Negative. They do the Typo pick slides all over the place here. Same guitar and bass sound. And I've only listened to this whole album a couple times. This is definitely going to be put to the side for next fall. Next up, another big release. We have The Last Will and Testament by Opeth. Their 14th album, I believe. This is on Reigning Phoenix Music. So what else can you say about Opeth? Everyone knows. I guess epic progressive death metal, their older days. And just by their, ninth album, they had really gone progressive rock. Unlike a lot of people, I do find Heritage their worst album, but every album since then has been a little bit better each step of the way. And I think this continues that trend. I still say it's probably the best thing since, I'm gonna say Watershed at this point. So 8 songs, first 7 all untitled, concept album about a family, and I don't find the story that interesting, to be honest with you. But some family secrets, we should say. And what people are talking about is the return of the death metal vocal and overall a slightly harder edge. Like the sound, don't love it. I'm going to give it like a 3.5 out of 5, just to me personally. But I definitely want to give this several more spins before I put it in the racks. I got the first Opeth album, Orchid, maybe a couple years after it was released. I found out a pawn shop and just kind of recognized the name from the magazines. And I think a lot of people still underrate this one. Definitely in my top 3 Opeth albums for sure. Next up, not really a metal release, but definitely pretty heavy in its own right. This is Inlet, the 2020 album by the American rock band Hum. So Hum were from Illinois. Are they a shoegaze band? Not really, but they do have a very heavy shoegaze influence on their hard alternative rock. And they had a little bit of success back in, like, what album was it? You Prefer an Astronaut. I forget what year it was, maybe like 95, 96. And they would break up in 98. And then basically just play some live shows here and there, but recorded no new music until 2020 with Inlet. And I think this is hands down the best thing they've ever done, and one of my favorite releases of the last several years. Definitely a little bit underwhelmed by this CD package here, but I'm still happy to own it. My favorite songs on here are definitely Step Into You and Folding, but I give this 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. It just really scratches that itch of heavy shoegaze influence music. It's a song I listen to a lot, that whole style. And again, one of my favorite releases of the 2020s for sure. Finally, we're going to look at Deathspell Omega. C Monumentum Requires Circumspice. This came out on Season of Mist. The French black metal masters, they have 8 full-length albums and several EPs that are just as noteworthy as the albums. And I like all their material, but really the only thing that I think is classic level to me is the most recent one from a couple years ago, The Long Defeat. I still think this is one of the best metal albums of the last 5 years. But Deathspell Omega are kind of like Druk in my collection. Very lengthy discographies, but I like all the albums, and just very slowly I just kind of find this stuff at prices I can't say no to, and slowly collecting them. But I gotta say, this one here is one of my least favorite Deathspell Omega albums. I feel like a lot of fans find it probably on average middle of the pack. But my favorite tracks on here are Carnal Malefactor, Jubilate Dio. Extremely influential on today's black metal sound, but I never really thought too much of who influenced them. But it definitely seems the obvious answer is the Classic Mayhem being the #1 influence. And that's it for me today. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.